Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 5th episode of Browsing Africa, Canal Algérie show where we discuss all the developments and the novelties in the continent in various fields. See you in a bit for tonight's stories. Welcome back. Our first story of tonight will be about the 12th Ordinary Congress of the Organization of the African Trade Union Unity, which took place in Algiers with the participation of over 100 delegates representing nearly 50 African countries. The second story of tonight will be about the commemoration of the 63rd anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire in Abuja, which was an opportunity to highlight the importance of inter-African cooperation. And in Zambia, protecting and improving children's lives is a major purpose of the Child Code Act, which the government attaches great importance to. Our last story of tonight will be related to the social protection programs and the Nigerian government's efforts in this regard, which was at the heart of a conference in Nigeria with the participation of international experts. The details of all what we mentioned in a bit. As we've seen in the headlines, our first story of tonight is about the 12th Ordinary Congress of the African Trade Union Unity Organization, which took place in the International Conferences Center Abdelatif Rahal here in Algiers, with the participation of over 100 delegates from nearly 50 African countries, with an aim of highlighting the importance of these trade union organizations in the labor world and in facing the continental challenges. Our own Najah Tayyar reports.
Under the aegis of the President of the Republic, the 12th Congress of the African Trade Union Organization took place for discussing the ways of strengthening the trade union role in the face of the world changes and the numerous challenges that the organization of the African Trade Union is facing. And for the African Workers' Cause militants meeting in Algiers, the objective is to guarantee workers' rights and to preserve their purchasing power with economic development and changes.
C'est un congrès pour renouveler les structures, redonner la.
This Congress is to refresh the structures, restore legitimacy to the Directorate, and to come up with solutions in this Congress, which is held in a bit different context, regarding the war against the Palestinian people, who are workers as well.
So this brings opportunity for us as trade unions to rub mind and discuss these issues and challenges as it affects the workers, and come out with clear resolutions on how we can continue to engage for the next period of 4 years before another conference will be held.
I'm very happy and privileged to be here in this great country of Algeria, which has always supported all liberation movements in Africa and has been one of the strongest proponents of African unity. And we know that the future of Africa is in unity, working together to build our infrastructure, to build our industries, and to build the capacities and capabilities of our people. Africa must unite.
The participants highlighted Algeria's pioneering role in the trade union struggle and the fight alongside the oppressed people and the just causes.
It is also a question of solidarity with the people in war. That is part of this organization's principles. What is happening in Palestine is unacceptable and terrible. You have seen the African reactions regarding this, where they express their fundamental solidarity. As Palestinian workers, we will continue to fight, especially in the current difficult conditions in the face of the Zionist aggression. We salute the honorable and constant support of the Algerian people to the Palestinian cause. We can say that Algeria has a great role in resolving the African matters and issues.
This Congress was an opportunity to honor the leading African trade union figures. The proceedings are due to close on Sunday and will culminate in a series of recommendations.
order for the African Continental Free Trade Area to produce desired results, the African private sector must work together. This is what the officials who were present in the 63rd commemoration of the anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire in Abuja had to say about inter-African cooperation. More in Adebola's Brooklyn's report.
It is estimated by the World Bank that the African Continental Free Trade Area will increase Africa's income by $450 billion by the year 2035 and increase intra-African exports by more than 81%. Celebrating the 63rd independence anniversary of Côte d'Ivoire, the Pearl of the West located on West Africa's Gulf of Guinea, diplomats from within and outside Nigeria commended the tropical country for the developmental strides recorded since independence. Director of Trade and Investment, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Akinremi Bolaji, said about 3 million Nigerians reside in Côte d'Ivoire, making about 40% of foreigners there. This, he says, symbolizes the strong bilateral ties between the two countries.
When you have all this memorandum of understanding signed, agreement signed on treatment of citizens, on businesses, on economic cooperation, we are talking of Abidjan-Lagos corridor, we are talking about market access, we are talking about all these things. It takes people to activate those things.
Regional and international cooperation for global peace and unity are some of the areas Ambassador Traore Kalilu is impressed about as his country's ambassador to Nigeria.
We have been contributing strongly to the peace processes by sending troops, by sending our diplomats, by sending sometimes medical doctors anywhere in the world, in the region, to help the peace building.
Côte d'Ivoire formally gained independence from France on August 7, 1960. Adebola, Brooklyn, NTA News.
In Zambia, the commemoration of the Child Justice Week this year is under the theme Collaborative Implementation of the Child Act Code. This Act Code, which places the best interests of children at its heart and which the government attaches great importance to. Details in the report of Shireen Siami.
Commemoration of the 2023 Child Justice Week has kicked off with a reminder to all stakeholders to ensure that the Children's Code Act number 12 of 2021 is actualized. Vice President Mutalina Lumango says actualizing the act will ensure that it becomes an instrument for positive change in the lives of children in Zambia. Mrs. Nalumango said this when she officiated at the launch of the 2023 Child Justice Week in Lusaka.
The Children's Code Act also brings to the fore what I learned on the correctional services stand, that there is need for more infrastructure and establishment of different places where both male and female can be without mixing them, or indeed others not having the correction facilities that they need. That also is as a result of what has been put in place.
And Deputy Chief Justice Michael Msonda said the judiciary has faced challenges in the administration of justice in relation to the Children's Code Act. The Children's Code Act was enacted last year in August.
The government and all stakeholders must help to save the judiciary from the public scorn, ridicule, and contempt which naturally have ensued or flowed from the judiciary's failure to secure total implementation of the Children's Code.
Meanwhile, Judge in charge of the Family and Children's Division, Chanda Mwamba, has called for the orientation of legal practitioners in matters relating to the Child Code Act.
May I call on all cooperating partners to join us in actualizing this intervention on a countrywide capacitation of the magistrates and judges in order to adequately implement the code.
The 2023 Child Justice Week is being commemorated under the theme Collaborative Implementation of the Children's Code Act, Transforming Child Justice in Zambia. Sharon Siame, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
And in Nigeria, international experts on social safety programs came together for a conference during which the efforts of the Nigerian government in this regard were highlighted. We discover more in this report by David Irie.
Global bodies in humanitarian services, including UNICEF, are here to work out contemporary mechanisms to tackle challenges associated with the implementation of social protection programs in Nigeria, tagged Social Protection and Economic Uncertainties in Fragile and Conflict-Affected Society. The conference seeks to understand modern ways to cater for the vulnerable in a society with high-level poverty and make necessary recommendations to the government for action.
The right institutions to deliver, on the supposed social protection, and then the human capacity as well, to deliver, on social protection. I think those were particularly very missing. And that makes social protection policy in the past too heavily vulnerable, to leakages.
The conference believes that building a social protection system that is responsive to those affected by conflict is a major step in tackling the problem of poverty.
In Nigeria, over the last decade, the social protection architecture has advanced significantly at both federal and state levels. We expect this progress to continue with the strong political mandate set out by President Tinubu in the government's manifesto.
It is crucial for all of us to gathered here today to recognize that in the face of adversity, the children of Nigeria and their families continue to show remarkable strength, courage, and resilience. They embody the enduring spirit of this nation and serve as a testament of the indomitable human spirit that refuses to be broken.
Collated relevant data from this research work is expected to serve as a springboard to the implementation of social protection programs of the federal government. In Abuja, David Irie, NTA News.